Top 7 Best Gaming Monitor in 2022. Through extensive research and testing, I have put together the list of options that will meet the need of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or particular use, we have got you covered. For more information, I have put links of products in the description. Make sure to check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Number 7. HBX34. The HBX34 is quite the ultra-wide bargain. Despite being costing about half that of the Predator Z35P, the X34 has a higher 165 Hz refresh rate, as well as superior brightness. In fact, I measured the X34's peak luminance at 437/M2, enough to back up HDR400 support. Non-HDR games look great in motion too, and while the X34 opts for FreeSync Premium without formal G-Sync compatible certification, you can enable and use G-Sync on NVIDIA graphics cards with fair results. The IPS panel also produces a vibrant and accurate color palette, hitting 96.5% sRGB gamma coverage in its neutral profile. There are some compromises, to be sure. Contrast isn't high enough for truly impressive HDR, the rear-mounted buttons aren't terribly intuitive or comfortable to use, and build quality could be more robust. Still, you do get a reasonably solid, height-adjustable stand, and the lack of pointy edges or flashes of red plastic should suit those who prefer a more restrained design. Number 6. BenQ Mobius EX3410R. The BenQ Mobius EX3410R hits all the performance marks you could want from a gaming-focused ultrawide. It uses a curved VA panel, which often have more trouble with motion than IPS or TN screens, but some spot-on pixel overdrive saves it from any noticeable blurriness. Between this, a low G2G response time of tombs, and the 144 Hz refresh rate, the Mobius EX3410R is as agile as it is expansive. FreeSync Premium Pro helps as well, and NVIDIA G-Sync is effective at denying screen tear while piggybacking on it. With the sRGB color profile, the Mobius EX3410R has a neutral, nicely balanced color palette, one that covers 96.7% of the sRGB gamut and hits a super accurate 1.8 average delta E. Contrast is good too, reaching 3093/1, and peak non-HDR brightness is decent at 391.1/M2. This monitor is only rated at the most basic display HDR400 standard of high dynamic range capability. But if you do prefer a bit of pop to more natural tones, turning HDR on does produce richly vibrant hues in the games that support it. Number 5. AOC CQ32 3SU/BK. Most gaming monitors come in under 13 diagonally, though some can go bigger without splaying all the way out into ultra-wide dimensions. The AOC CQ32 3SU/BK is my current favorite of these oversized 16:9 models. Its 1404 type resolution being high enough to keep games and desktop apps looking sharp despite the lower pixel density that comes with a bigger panel. Speaking of panels, this one is curved, which makes keeping the corners in view a little more comfortable. Otherwise, this is a no-frills yet always competent gaming monitor, reaching all the way up to 165 Hz for lusciously slick views on suitably powerful setups. As with a lot of VA monitors, there's a bit of ghosting visible on fast-moving objects, but setting pixel overdrive to its medium setting helps tone this down, without overshooting and adding reverse ghosting. The upside of a VA panel is some excellent contrast, which I measured at 2514/1, and colors have a nicely natural look, not too bland, not too oversaturated. Number 4. NZXT Canvas 27Q. Seemingly not content with successful debuts in the gaming keyboard and USB microphone arenas, NZXT have launched a brilliant new 1404 type gaming monitor as well. The NZXT Canvas 27Q is a sharp and vivid IPS monitor that, between its 165 Hz refresh rate and generally strong motion handling, presents a match for far more experienced monitor makers on gaming performance. You could argue it looks basic with the default stand, but I'd rather have a clean, mature design over something that screams, "Ow, look here, I'm a gamer what plays games." It's a good stand, too. Strong and steady, with a full set of height, tilt, and rotation adjustment capabilities. The rear OSD joystick also feels a tad bigger than average, so it's easy to use when you want to make display adjustments. Not that many are necessary. In its standard image profile, The Canvas 27Q covers 99.5% of the sRGB gamut, with a good peak brightness of 382/M2 and a 1058:1 contrast ratio. Every game I ran on this display looks smooth and sumptuous, and it all comes at a surprisingly competitive price. Number 3. AOC C27G2ZU. You'll need a pretty beefy graphics card to make the most of a 240Hz gaming monitor. But if you've got the right GPU and value frames per second above all else, then the AOC C27G2ZU is comfortably the best 240Hz gaming monitor so far. It's considerably cheaper than other 27 and 240Hz gaming monitors out there at the moment, and its curved VA panel has superb color accuracy straight out of the box, meaning you can simply plug it in and start playing without having to spend ages faffing around with the settings. It's also available in a cheaper ZE model, but the benefit of opting for this ZU variant is that you get a height-adjustable stand and 4 USB 3.2 ports, which you don't get on the ZE. Yes, a 1920x1080 resolution isn't ideal on the 27-inch gaming monitor, but you'll only really notice its low pixel density, how sharp and crisp text and icons look on screen when you're using it for work or browsing the web. In games, everything looks just fine, and you won't have trouble reading text or interpreting a game's HUD or UI. If the resolution is a bit of a deal breaker for you, though, then check out the 25-inch Alienware W2521 HFL instead. Number 2. BenQ Mobius X2510S. The BenQ Mobius X2510S is, for all intents and purposes, the Mobius X2510 with an extra 21Hz slapped on the refresh rate. Fine by me, it's only a teensy bit more expensive, thus keeping it as an excellent entry point into HDR for those with bright ideas but limited budgets. Not that it's dazzlingly intense most of the time. The 1920x1080 IPS panel handles color well, covering 96.2% of the sRGB gamut in the OSD sRGB mode, but this also limits peak brightness to a so-so 238.9x/M2 once HDR is enabled and running in a game. However, the Mobius X2510S can reach 404x/M2, which is just enough for the display HDR 400 standard. My testing revealed plenty more sparks of quality. With a respectable contrast ratio of 1095, it avoids a common pitfall of cheaper IPS panels, and the joystick control makes navigating the OSD much easier than it would be with a set of simple buttons. Even the speakers are reasonable, if though no replacement for a dedicated set of desktop speakers or one of the best gaming headsets. Number 1. AOC 24G2U. The AOC 24G2U is hands down one of the best gaming monitors around. Its accessible price makes it a great budget gaming monitor, and its high refresh rate gives it plenty of headroom for both low and higher-end graphics cards alike. That's why it's currently our number 1 recommendation in our PCzone 1000 PC build, the RPS rig, as well as an ideal upgrade for anyone upgrading from an old or basic desktop display. It's not one of NVIDIA's officially certified G-Sync compatible screens, all told, but our test showed its adaptive sync support works just as well with NVIDIA graphics cards as it does with AMD ones when using the officially supported FreeSync. It's infinitely better than AOC other similarly priced gaming monitor, the AOC G2590FX, both in terms of color accuracy and overall contrast. And it's also better value for money than the very similar and slightly more expensive ViewSonic Elite XG240R. The AOC 24G2U has an excellent 24-inch screen, and its fantastic IPS panel covers 99.6% of the standard sRGB color gamut straight out of the box, meaning you don't have to spend ages tweaking anything to get a great picture. That's a lot for a monitor of this size and price, and it's arguably much better value for money than some of the larger screens further down on this list. So guys, that's all for the top 7 best gaming monitor in 2022. The links of all products are given in the description, which are updated for the best prices. Subscribe our channel for more videos. We will meet in next video. Till then, take care, bye.